It's important to take this process of meditation a step at a time, not to project too far into the future or if you have a good class or not a good class, or it's a step at a time. And whatever one goes through in these classes, it's a learning process. That's all it is learning about oneself. It's learning what we have to overcome in oneself. It's learning how to absorb more and more Shakti. It's just step by step learning. Because, we as human beings are really quite remarkable inside. We really are. We're connected to what's infinite in the universe, and we're connected to, extraordinary creative energy. We also have undergone an incredible amount of conditioning living on the planet Earth. Parents, teachers, schools, universities, whatever, have almost trained us to function in certain ways. A lot of that functioning has to do with the mind, and it has to do with kind of understanding, rationalization, that type of thing. But in deep spiritual practice, you understand, it no longer has to do with rationalizing life. It has to do with life, spirit, creativity, becoming living experience. And I think this is a very important thing because on the other side of all of us is to be, it is, everything is in the present, not in, I'm reading this absolutely amazing book, and a book I read when I was, like 19 years old, and I'm rereading it now. And it's all about a person who lives in an alternate reality, has no capacity to stay focused in the moment and to live their life in the moment. The book is very funny. In fact, it's historic, probably one of the great modern novels that was written 500 years ago. So what I'm saying is most of us live that way. We live in alternate realities. We live in realities we create in our own brain. We live in realities that have nothing to do with our life in the present. And we need to get past ourselves so that we can focus on being in the present, focus on being in the now. Having the strength inside ourselves to be able to do this. So, we as people really have to recondition ourselves to learn how to live in the moment, not into some reality we create in our brain, that mostly just fogs up our consciousness and doesn't allow us to see what's real, what's an illusion. It doesn't allow us to truly be in the moment. And I think that alternate reality is something that people are trained in from the earliest periods of their life. We take on the rules and regulations of our families, our friends, society, our governments, our religions, everything conditions us to function in a certain way. And very little of it enables us to truly live our lives in the moment. So we wind up living in this kind of alternate reality that's created in our brain. And then, the highest level of living is love, but it's very difficult to deeply love people if we're constantly rationalizing what they do and we do every moment, So part of what this meditation, a big part of what this meditation is about, is literally reconditioning ourselves, literally learning how to live in the present. When you live in the present, there's no prejudice, there's no, discrimination, there's none of that stuff. It's just life in all its splendor. It's just God's manifestation of life. And people are born with different religions, they're born with different races, they're born with different ideas. It's all life. And where it becomes complicated is when we start, creating in our brain this alternate reality about the way we think life is supposed to be. That really complicates everything. And it really is going against God, it really is, because this universe is just created around us with all its different manifestations. And we need to learn how to live in it happily, quietly, with strength, with balance, with consciousness. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question. Can you hear me, Stuart?
Yeah, who's talking?
Sarah.
Sarah, yes, please.
Okay, so sometimes, or it's often when I come for the meditation, I still have projects in my mind that I'm processing, and I'm not sure. Like I'm conflicted. If
I
I
know, Sarah, but look, the voice in the mind never really goes away. It'll always be there. The difference is that you have grounded yourself
It's 2
in the
o'clock.
hara, where there's balance, where there's harmony, and you don't really listen to that voice anymore. It's like kind of birds chirping in the trees, and you can detach yourself from it instead of being dragged into it and listening to it and fighting with it and arguing with it and analyzing, and get all that stuff that goes on in the brain. So you have to realize there's always going to be a voice there. I mean, I've been doing this meditation for a really long time. I still have voices I don't listen to them anymore. You understand? They're not my guiding light. My guiding light is being focused in the moment, living in the moment, allowing myself to be, connected to, what's the wisdom of God, not the wisdom of my brain. And that wisdom really enables me to live here. So if you have that voice, it's telling you something. It's telling you, you got more work to do on yourself. You have to go deeper. You have to get more grounded in the third chakra. You have to get more open inside. You have to build a system that enables you to detach yourself from that voice. That voice isn't a negative thing. It's just a reminder that you haven't arrived yet. Like most of our problems, they're just reminders that we haven't arrived yet. If we look at them that way, they're no longer something negative. They're there to teach us that we need to go deeper inside, that we need to open more, we need to work on ourselves because, honestly, it's the only solution because we try to fix what's out there. I mean, all my life I've been here, we'll put money in this and fix and that, and it doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. It's like trying to fix a shadow. It's all an illusion. We can fix what's inside here, and everything else is a reminder that we need to do the work that we have to do on ourselves. And that includes the people in our lives, it includes everything objective to us, it includes our minds, it includes our emotions, our sexual energy, it includes everything is there to remind us we haven't arrived yet. That we need to build a system inside that is capable of having the strength to be able to use all those energies in a way where they help us get closer to God, to a spiritual life. So don't be upset because these things go on in your brain. They go on in everybody's brain, Just, okay, I haven't arrived yet. I have not yet mastered the ability to detach myself from the tension that's in my head. I got work to do on me. And that's nothing wrong with that, because basically we got work to do on ourselves as long as we're alive on the earth, because there's always going to be problems, always. So I wouldn't get too concerned about that. I would just get more grounded. Okay, I need to get, and then you'll get stronger and stronger inside. And that voice in the brain, that tension that's always there, it's not, you're not going to get attached to it. And you're not going to even listen to it, for God's sake. It just flows right past. It's like a car on the street or people talking outside your apartment or your house. It just comes and goes. We don't attach ourselves to it. We just remind ourselves we got work to do on us, and that's okay. Because when you stop working on yourself, everything crystallizes and people become like the living dead, when they stop working on themselves. It's all just, I always say, it's ingredients in an incredible soup called life. Everything is an ingredient in that soup. And what makes the soup delicious is our ability to learn from each and every one of these ingredients. Learn what we need to do to grow, what we need to do to become happier people, more open people, more conscious people. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And just to finish, don't ever get down on yourself because you have tension in your head, you have emotional things. Don't get down. All right, I'm human. I'm human. I have these things. I got to learn how to live with them and work with them and transform them into what gives me a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be a meditation on Tuesday, same time. God bless you all. And again, as I always say, thank you for being here. And thank you for participating in this and for allowing me to come here and learn from all of you. So bless you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday. If you know people that want to come to this class, I'm always open to get new students. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.